stream. Okay, there we are. Hello. Hello. Happy Friday. It's actually Friday this time. Last time I said happy Friday, it was actually Thursday. But I promise it's actually Friday. At least for, well, it might not be Friday for you. It is Friday for me. That's what I can promise. Friday's more of a mindset anyway, right? Friday's a vibe. Okay, let me get my shit set up here. Ew. My own voice. Gross. My own voice. Okay, what are we doing today? Sweet Place YouTube, hello. Welcome in. Hello. So yesterday we kind of finished the refactors for our procedural terrain stuff, which is really nice. I'm glad we got that done. I'm feeling a lot better about it. It's working well. Now, the whole reason I did that was because I wanted to wait for the whole zone to spawn before I did spawn locations. But now I'm kind of thinking that I shouldn't do that. I'm kind of reneging that. I think. Because, you know, there's some zones that are just really fucking big. And that would be a little crazy. Although, like, I definitely wouldn't, wait, I wouldn't, like, render the whole zone. Although, maybe that is a consideration I should make, you know? Especially if I'm gonna have mountains around it. Maybe I should always render the zone, like, the entirety of whatever zone you're in. Maybe I should. And then on this case, where am I? I think my cursor for this is slightly off. I don't think I centered it on the right chunk. Precisely. But I guess in this case I want to show both because I'm right on the edge. It can be a lot. For testing, this is fine. That's not really a huge deal at the moment. What is this? Oh my god, this thing. This keeps happening. This keeps happening. Why are you crashing just because I'm adding some instances, huh? Huh? What's your deal? What is your deal, sir? Are you like... Yeah, it's this thing again. So multiple threads are accessing this thing, I think. Multiple threads are accessing this thing. I think. Aha. Aha. Well, this isn't necessarily doing that. This is related to the ISMC, but not, because it's not directly working on it yet. Continue. We're selecting instances again. Instance I believe is the plural. Instance I. 6, 7. Okay, that's the only other thing happening. We'll keep that in mind for whenever that happens next, and we'll see if that's consistent. Because this is the code that was happening on the other thread was the RNG selection for the PCG spawns, which do have something to do with the ISMC that threw the crash. But I don't know. I don't think I have it at that point yet, so Curious, very curious. Very curious. Let's grab a new seed. Although, I don't know, I like that one that we were in. That one was a cool seed. Cool seed. Cool beans. Okay. So yeah, we're going to be coming up with mob spawn locations. Procedural mob spawn locations. And I tinkered with it a little bit yesterday. I tinkered with this a little bit yesterday after the stream. And where are we? Yeah, this guy. Okay, so here's what I got. And I was actually able to do so what I do is like we get this. Now I'm gonna put a debug thing on that. Yeah, so it's gonna start popping up for each of these chunks. So I'm running these PCG graphs per chunk, per terrain chunk, right there, you know, etc. So these are gonna start popping up. So I start with all these points, and I actually found out that this attract node that I was doing was taking like 1,000 seconds to run, which is too many seconds. That is too many seconds. And so it used to be this. It used to be that many points. Look at all those points. Each one of those boxes is like a piece of data. So that's, yeah, that's too many. So I just filtered it way down. And I guess this attract node, it brings all the points together such that they are a certain distance away from each other. So, and we end up with what this chunk is showing right here, this one. Something like that, although that looks too close to each other. They're supposed to be spawn radius away from each other. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to not spawn them too close, is what I'm trying to do. I'm passing in the spawn radius here. And yeah, that's the outcome. I have to kind of keep zoomed out so the trees don't cover them. And actually, let me plug this into the meadow graph as well. Execute not blueprint. We'll do subgraph. Plug that in there. It's going to be missing. That's cool. Default, background, spawns. I think that's the right one, right? Yeah. So now the meadows, this biome should have some, which will be a little bit easier to look at. The trees won't cover those up so bad. But yeah, then we get all these ones that are on the sides of the mountains and stuff, which are not... Those aren't valid spawn points, right? Those aren't valid spawn points. I already did slope filter some of them. But what I ended up doing was I wrote this blueprint here. I wrote all these noodles here to... I just did a path find, and I have 4 directions. Just north, south, east, and west, basically. And I just try to path find to a point in each of those directions. If it can find a full non-partial path to any of those locations, it's a valid spawn. But if it can't, that means that it's likely on the side of a cliff or something, you know? So there are little bits of nav mesh here. But that actually works pretty well for doing it. So if I switch the debug over to here, we should start to see these disappear on the side of the mountain. So that's what I'm doing so far. Now, I'm not necessarily going to have the nav mesh ready. Yo, what's up? What's up to you? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yeah, these should start to disappear. There's a lot of these graphs running, so it takes a minute. Oh, we got some spawn points here. Now this seems like too many. These are too close. I think they're supposed to be like 3,000 away from each other, if I'm not mistaken. Those are way too close, right? That's not, from here to there is not 3,000 schmeckles, is it? I don't think so. Okay, but yeah, we've seen a lot of the ones on the side of the cliff disappear, but even more should be. Let me look here. Yeah, let me just give me, yeah, just give me this guy. You have 1,000 for your spawn distance. Is that what I have it on all for all of them? Right. Okay. I wonder if I should make little savable structs here. I can do like an instanced struct kind of thing. Because now that I've added these on every single biome definition, it is going to be a pain to tinker with these across the board. Ocean doesn't spawn anything, so you can go away. Yeah, I should probably make these like instant structs or something. These entries. That way I can like create like a little or it could even be a data asset, I think. But then I wouldn't have inheritance if I did that. Am I going to do the same thing I did with entity archetypes? Before we begin, what is your legitimate opinion on if statements? Yes, the controversial if statement. Let me see. Yes, the if statement is literally AI. Literally AI. Brittany, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Don't my dots look cute? Tell me I have cute dots. I'm working on procedural mob spawn locations. Incredible, yes. AI is just if statements confirmed. And I actually found out, like, so I'm coming, these are like procedural mob spawns. This is procedural terrain, procedural world. So I have to use like code to figure out where to spawn things, right? I'm not like hand placing any of this. And the same noise I used to place the trees, I ended up using to place the mob spawns. So it actually just like lines up with the forest pretty well for the most part. And so I didn't realize that. And I was like, oh shit, that could be a cool way to like, you know, just spawn things in the forest if I wanted to. Just use the same noise. So kind of accidentally stumbled across a nice technique. But yeah, these are quite close. These are quite close. And 1,000, yeah, 1,000 is not very close. Like if I were down here, that would be an intimidating forest to step into. But it will the ability to hand place voxels / trees. So it's not inherently voxel based. There is some voxel techniques I use, but I think what you're asking is if you can deform the terrain. You can deform the terrain. I have very shittily proof of concepted that. I hope that works. There you go. You can deform the terrain. It's not fully working right now, but it's a proof of concept. I know how to do it. I just need to make it better. You see all those verts that it added. That's way too many. Way too many. So yeah, because there's the resolution normally, which looks quite voxely, and you'd be correct in assuming so, but it's not. I take a height map and I stitch it together with a set of 3D noise so that we have caves and stuff. And so I take a kind of custom marching cubes algorithm and I stitch them together. So it's kind of voxely, but when you deform the terrain, it's just based on vertices in 3D space. Same with the terrain material. So if I go over here, let's pick a good one. Let's go like right here. This is a good one. So there's the vertex data. So every single vertex I just colored based on what material it's made out of. And so when you deform it, it should eventually, when I get it working, it will react as you suspect, right? Because you would think that dirt and stone would react differently to a pickaxe getting hit, and you'd be correct. Am I the forest reviewer? No. No. What game is it? Just a game I'm working on. Humbly titled My Project at the moment. I like games where artists go over the procedural generated stuff and enhance it. Yeah, I'm no artist. So this is all just placeholder assets at the moment. But I'm trying to figure out where I should spawn things. And so I'm trying to procedurally come up with spawn locations. And here's what I have so far. All these little dots. All these little dots. We're gonna go down in here. Can I also incorporate ground being hard during cold weather? That seems like something that would be very, very, very low priority. I don't think that's something that would increase the fun in the game very much. It's an interesting concept, I'll give you that. An interesting concept. But I think I would rather work on a snowy biome, where the ground is just naturally harder, right? Okay, so imagine each one of these boxes as a mob that has spawned. Yeah, those are not 1,000 apart. Oh, these are not 1,000 apart, so... Is that PCG? It is. Good eye. Bro made the game. Wow. I didn't. I'm just borrowing some of the assets, okay? I'm borrowing them. I'll give them back. I'll give them back. Wait, is my, Okay, I thought my script was broken. We're good. We're good. I do have procedural tree chopping though, so that's fun. I'm thinking some Valheim tree dominoes are gonna happen. So these are all static meshes, and then when you saw it there, the texture had to load in. But wherever the axe connects to is where it chops out of. So it's very this is a really shitty homemade animation I did. I am no animator either. Then the tree will chop once you get all the way through there, and then you get some wood. I got 9 wood from that, and the wood you get is commensurate to the volume of the tree trunk. Are you gonna do anim overlays for ALS? I have a couple, yeah. I have a couple, yeah. I'm kind of doing like giga overlays. Like I have one for casting. And yeah, that targeting is off because I have nothing to target. It does real-time boolean on the geometry. It does. It does. We got a lot of people in here who actually understand Unreal Engine. That's crazy. What is happening here now? What is this? Okay, we just got like a random ass crash from garbage collection. Jump step grass A. I don't even recognize that asset name. Oh, it was a sound. One of the sounds I was using just, I don't know, crashed for some reason. Can you give a brief description of how you're generating the location of the white box mob spawners? Yes, I can do that. You can also rewind a little bit and probably find it, but I'll do it again once I get in here. Give me 2 seconds. We can go over that. So all the assets and everything are spawned with PCG as well. And I have a PCG graph running for every single terrain chunk. I should have picked a new seed, but oh well. How am I instantiating the procedural spawned objects? It's all through PCG, which in Unreal Engine. So from these graphs right here. So here's the graph for the forest. These terrain chunks are they're kind of special in that I don't use collision to get the points. I use the raw like vertex and triangle data to get the points, and that way I don't actually have to have the mesh built in order to do line traces against it, because I store that vertex and index data in a kind of like a bounding volume hierarchy spatial mesh. So that way I can do it like an efficient line trace through it. But we have a subgraph here within the forest graph. I have one within the meadow graph here, which is this guy. But every single terrain chunk is a different, it's the same graph, but it's a different, there's a PCG component on each one of these guys. right? And so this we call this subgraph, and we loop through based on the background spawns property in the biome definition, which looks like this guy. It's just a little set of settings that either has the actor to spawn, or I wrote my own ECS system, so these will be entities as well to spawn. A spawn radius, whether it needs to spawn on the surface, and some noise level information. So we feed that into a loop, and so for each one of those entries, we do the following. If we require surface filters, and I can probably show this, we'll see. Let's see how well I can show this. So if we require surface, these are all the points that I get. And it's going to start to show a lot. But you'll notice none of the points on the bottom show. And then what we do is we apply spatial noise to that. So rather than this random white noise, we start getting this noise right here, where it's cloudy and coherent. And then based on the required noise level that we were just looking at in the definition, we do a density filter on that. So I'll switch over to that, and it'll start culling the darker spots. It'll start culling the darker spots. It takes a second because there's tons of graphs to run. Yeah, so you see them start disappearing, and we start getting these, and it happens to be the same. I didn't realize I did this, but this noise right here, the seed I passed in is just the world seed, which I guess is the same seed I use for the tree placements. And so what we're getting is a very similar shape to where the trees are spawned, because it's just the same noise. And so now we just have a bunch of points here. I don't need that many points, right? I don't want to spawn that many things. So we also do, and we start getting points like this, right? I don't want to spawn anything on the side of the cliff. So I take the rotation of these points, which are, when I generated them from that spatial data structure I was talking about, they have normal information in it. The rotations are aligned to the triangles, to the barycentric coordinates. So we do a normal to density, and we do a density filter, and then that gets rid of these like really steep points that are going to be invalid. So we get rid of those. And I'm going to end up doing an attract. And I found this node, and it says attracts source points to target points based on a max distance and a criteria. And so, yeah, you can see it started, it got rid of a lot of points there. There's still some points there that we don't want. Still some points that we don't want there. So I do this attract to bring them all together, right? I only want 1 point every, and I guess what I have in here is 1,000 for the spawn radius, because I don't want to overlap too much. So it'd be like 1 point every 1,000 Unreal Schmeckles. But I figured out that the attract node was actually taking like 1,000 seconds to run. So it was so slow. So what I do is I do some attribute noise. I reapply some noise to this, you know, just some random white noise. And then I just do a density filter on it to just, because these are like thousands and thousands of points for each chunk. Too many. I don't need that many. So just filter it way down. Give me all the points between 0.9 and 1. And so you can see them start to pop up here like these guys. So we're getting a lot less sparse, or a lot more sparse points now. And now the attract node can actually work on that. Even less now on the sides of the mountains as well. And I'm using dynamic mesh components for the terrain chunks. But yeah, once this guy runs, that should filter. It's going to start to combine the points. So you saw a little bit there. So now we're getting even less points, and the points are just stacked on top of each other now. Oh, so the normal's pointing at too much of an angle, is too steep, and then it's not a valid spawn point. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's just based on the rotation of the point. Because all the points, whenever I generated the points initially, I aligned them to the surface. So all their rotations are the same as the normals, which is nice. Very nice. Yeah, now we have a bunch of points stacked on top of each other. I do a partition on the index. I combine them, and then I merge them into a single data set. So this is going to look the same, but just some data processing things. But now we have our points here. But these are like our spawn points, essentially. Now, we have these guys. These are still invalid spawns. And you can see I have some nav mesh on the side of this mountain. Right? There's nav mesh way out there and stuff. We have some nav mesh here. So really what determines like a valid spawn point is if I can't have it on too much of a nav island. And so I wrote this little blueprint that iterates over the points, and it gets a point along a direction in north, south, east, west, each direction, projects that point onto navigation, tries to pathfind to it. If it gets a valid path that's not partial, then I know that's a valid point. At least one. Like it needs to, and I picked like a point, like I think I did like 500 schmeckles away from the point. So if it can, if there is pathfinding from one of these spawn points to one point in any direction that is navigable, then we know it can be valid. We know it can be valid. Oh yeah, I had it open in a different thing here. Yeah. So after I do this, these guys go away. These guys will go away. This one actually stays, which I think is kind of fun, because there's actually just like a little tunnel here that I'm pretty sure it navved through the tunnel. But yeah, some of those should start to disappear now. But I think I don't necessarily know that I have the nav mesh ready at this point, so I think I actually have to take this part out of the PCG graph. But yeah, all those points are gone now, except for the one in the tunnel, which I actually think is kind of cool. So there's going to be like a guy standing right here on the side of the tunnel, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, there's the final spawn points. Again, I think they're too close. That's what I was going to walk around and try and find. I was going to get I wanted to get a vibe for how close these were. What is this about? We're doing some game dev. We're doing some game dev. The game, what is the game about? It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo is what I'm going for. So RPG, as a lot of you pointed out, is very similar to World of Warcraft. Not an MMO by any means. I'm not, I don't have that much fucking time, okay? Nice map, bro. Thank you. All procedural terrain. So yeah, RPG, Colony Sim, Roguelite, procedural terrain. Every playthrough is going to be different. Every run is going to be different. Think combats and classes and abilities like vanilla WoW. Can you just slap a density filter to cut those trees down? I could, yeah. And I have. That's what I use just for the shape of the forests. But yeah, I could make them more sparse, for sure. But you know, nanite goes burr, so we got a nice thick forest. Visual scripting seems intimidating for some reason. Yeah, there's a lot to, especially with the PCG stuff, because it's like a different, this isn't blueprints, right? Like this is a different thing, so even more so. I do prefer writing in code just because I understand it a bit better. But yeah, there's the world so far. And here's the world map that got generated. Oh, to cut down the enemy spawn. Yeah, but what I'm wanting is for them to be a certain distance away, because I think I can control the difficulty quite a bit more. What game is this? The game is titled My Project. The game is titled My Project. But yeah, these are like if there were a bunch of enemies like that, and this is not going to be one of those games where you can just press one ability and clear the whole fucking screen of enemies. I'm looking at you, PoE and Diablo. This will be like a, you know, I may have some scenarios like that where you can kill some hordes of enemies, but you know, I want it more like vanilla WoW, you know, more slow paced. You made this? I did. I am working on it right now. I'm trying to, these are all going to be mob spawn locations, and yeah, this is it's a pretty thick spawn. My Project 3333, yeah. Basically. And we got like a building system, so you know, like I said before, RPG similar to vanilla WoW. Colony Sim similar to RimWorld is what I'm going to go for. You know, your base gets raided, you can recruit colonists, You build NIM structures. You got to make them happy. You know, they want rooms. They want nice food. You can give them jobs. You can tell them to go cut trees down. And I want the whole world to be online. This is a big world. We're only, like, I only have rendered like a very small radius around the player right now. It's going to be a crazy game. Thank you. I only have like this radius spawned right now, but I want to spawn the whole world. And I want to have it running. So even if you're not, like, say you start a base here and you're running all the way over here, I want your base to still be able to get attacked when you're not there, you know? And if you send some colonists out into the forest to chop trees, if you have 4 guys getting lumber, you're not just going to get 40 lumber per hour. That's not how it's going to work. Your guys actually have to run out there, chop a tree down, bring the wood back, put it in a lumber mill, you know? And if there's some wolves in the forest, and if there's a bunch of spawns, which is what these white boxes are supposed to be for, then your colonists might get attacked. So you need to maybe send a good fighter with them, you know, some guy that you equip with some really good gear or has some really good abilities or something. Dude, what is with the crashes today? What is with the crashes today? I refactored my terrain algorithm, and now it doesn't like me anymore. What am I to you? What am I to you? Where did this even come from? When's the launch? Ask me again in 5 years. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened here. What was it? This is a slate thing. I'm gonna yeah, this is some in-editor thing. There's probably just like tons of logs. There were probably tons of logs happening. But I also want the game to be a roguelite. Like, this is gonna be a long form roguelite. So we'll see how people like that. I think there's gonna be a lot of frustration. What IDE was it? Was it JetBrains? Yes, it is Rider by JetBrains. The Gamedev IDE. But yeah, I'm gonna go through here and let's change these, which is kind of annoying, to 3000, and I have to change them all by hand, and I don't like that. So I'm thinking about changing the data structure I use, because if I have to tinker with these, we're gonna change to 3000. If I have to tinker with these, that is going to be very tedious for every goddamn zone. Let's pick a new seed though. Let's go into a new seed. What were we at when I was incrementing? 233. We're gonna go to a different seed now. Nice flat zone. Oh yeah, we're in a nice flat zone here. What if you made a system so every spawner in the player in your base is getting deleted when you can't see the monsters spawn? So the cubes are there just for debugging purposes. They're not actually going to be shown, if that's what you're saying. I didn't quite understand the question, but yeah, that was just for displaying where they will spawn, because we're still trying to figure it out here. Okay, let's take a look at these guys now. Yes, I know. Stop complaining. Look at this mountain, though. It's a kind of crazy looking mountain. I very much want dwarves in the game. And I would love for there to be a procedural iron forge spawned over here. I think that would be so cool. But we are in the Temple of Artemis, which is supposed to be a swamp. I don't have a swamp biome though yet. Frostbloom Ridge, it's a forest. The Merchant's Bazaar of Trade. Yeah, the AI doesn't do a great job of naming these. I don't really give it any context to it, so you can't really expect that. But Echoing Glen, the Land of the Phoenixes, Viridian Valley. Festering Bog, that's a nice name. Gallows Hill. The City of Nightmares, oh Jesus. And the Vale of Shadows. I mean, like, the will just... I'm a little confused at what you're saying, I'll be honest. little confused. But yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot sparser. So is that the edge of a chunk? Those shouldn't be overlapping. Those should not be overlapping that much. Oh well. So I think the attract function doesn't quite work the way that I probably thought it did. Remove unattractive points. Let's run over to this big mountain. I want to generate some more of it. I am saying that you can see them spawn. So I wrote an ECS system, which is like an efficient way to have thousands and thousands of entities running. So these all should be spawned. Like you won't see them just pop into view, if that's what you're saying. They will not just pop into view. They will be spawned much before that. I'm like, why are there some that are just so close still? I don't understand. We're actually getting some in the caves here. I actually want to go look down in that cave. We're going to that cave, actually. Change of plans. The mountain looks nice, though. The mountain looks nice. Oh, there's like a whole zone over here, too. The zone here. Anyways, I'm gonna go look down in that giant crater. Which, am I heading in the right direction? Sort of. Sort of. But don't fall in the crevice. I do very much want the world to feel dangerous. And I do very much want you to kind of almost have to carve a path through the world, through enemies and stuff. I just want to make sure that I can't see. Okay. Alright. I only do 2 down. I mean, I cap the negative Z generation so we can just see straight through the ground there. Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, there's going to be some ore down here and stuff. Kingdom of Keflings had a really cool pick up and place system for the NPC helpers. You pick up and place on the resource node, and then pick up and second place is where they drop the resources off. If I'm not mistaken, you're saying that there would be like an omniscient, like top-down perspective, right? Which that's you know, that's how a lot of Colony Sim games are, if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly. They have that top-down omniscient perspective where you can kind of see the whole thing, right? So I'm going to have some design challenges because I am now going to be down in the world and I won't have that omniscient perspective. I'm thinking about having some... Nice. Yeah, thank you. Christina said hi. Hello. But I'm thinking about having some, like a role you can put your colonists in that'll, they're like a management role. And then you can just like, when you talk to them, it'll pull up some UI that you can use to determine like where people are going and stuff like that. You have any idea how you're wanting to implement the NPCs that chop your trees and carry resources back? I have a pretty good idea. Yeah, pretty good idea. Let's spawn 1,000. Yes, I know. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. There they go. There they are. So these are all vertex animated textures, which means like they're all animated on the GPU. These are they're not actual skeletal meshes. They're static meshes. And so that means they're very, very efficient to render. and you take their animations and you bake them into a texture, and you put that texture into a material, and then that material can animate them using world position offset, moves their bones and stuff like that. And so everything you see in the distance is vertex animated, and it's like super efficient. So if I turn this way, like it doesn't actually, you know, render that stuff back there. Oh god, stop. So yeah, you'll see them like kind of pop in and out of view here once they leave my view Frustm, called Frustm culling. Animation as a texture, yeah, exactly. So very, very cheap. And then of course, if a bunch of these guys are like way over here, they're not even going to be rendered, right? They're just going to be pieces of data in memory. And the I don't actually have any terrain chunks generated here, the meshes at least. All I have is the raw vertex and index buffers, which I can export to the nav mesh, and the nav mesh knows how to handle that. And then that's the same data that I line trace through in a bounding volume hierarchy for PCG to spawn things on. So that's how I know, like, there's going to be like a little cave here, even though the mesh isn't generated. So this helps me save on memory. This is this is how I'm going to be able to keep entities moving around in the world when I'm not around, and how I'm going to be able to render things very, very efficiently. So we're kind of getting to a point where I've built all these systems out, where we're connecting them together. So I should have spawned at least one enemy guy. Here, let me spawn one enemy. We'll see how far he gets. Right now, combat is my biggest bottleneck. There he is. So combat is my biggest bottleneck. And I'm using a GAS, Gameplay Ability System, which is a system in Unreal Engine. They do this little dancey thing, which I need to fix. Uh-oh, that guy's got the wrong... He's got the wrong animation instance on him. That's an issue I know about. So the guys with the health bars are actually actors, and so they look a little bit better, and you can kind of see them pop in and out. It's pretty seamless. There's like one frame of wiggle room there. Again with these crashes, man. Streaming texture. How much memory am I using up right now? Probably quite a bit. Yeah, Unreal Engine's using 17 gigs of memory. Not exactly trivial memory, but that should still be okay to like get whatever the hell done this was doing. This is on the game thread. Okay, we were pathfinding on that thread. We were getting entity data on that thread. We're rebuilding some mesh collision there on that thread. GPU stuff there. A memory allocation here. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of collision on memory. Yeah, what is happening here? Oh, this is Nanite. Nanite was doing stuff on that thread. Entity movement. Okay. So it's not rendering what you're not looking at. Right. Exactly. And we had a bit of a crash. That's okay. Yeah, I wonder if there's something special I need to be doing. Because just getting a crash from a random memory allocation is not a good sign. Gotta go. Awesome stream. Thank you. Subscribe. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Check in when I have more time. Yeah, appreciate you hanging out. Awesome creations. Keep up the cool project. Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate you hanging out with me as well. Yeah, let's reboot here. Let's get back to actually doing the spawns. So some of them are a little too close. I mean, that's okay. I would like more control over them for the spawn points, but I think it's good enough to move forward with for now, and we can tinker with it later. So now I need a way to get these spawn points out of PCG and into a different system, because I'm probably going to need a spawner like system. And I need to pass these points to my entity spawner to spawn. Well, I'll need to wait for, so let me pull up my little to-dos here. I will need to wait for navigation to finish. And then after that, after navigation finishes, we can spawn NPCs, because then that's how I know I'll be able to determine the valid spawn points and stuff. So there's several steps to a terrain chunk being generated. Several steps. So we actually, this filter valid spawns is not gonna, we're gonna have to take that out. We're gonna have to take that out. But let's get a new seed going here. 234. Okay, yeah. I need to fix those assertions, because those are getting so annoying. There we go. Another big zone. Another just nice big zone that we're spawning in here. Where am I at? I am in Silent Falls. And we are next to the Viridian Plains, Duskwither Bastion, the Dragon's Den. Oh, shit. Goblin Market of Green Gristle. Caves of Fear. The Diplomat's Embassy of Peace. Ravenwood Vale. Viridian Plains. Did I already say that? I think I already said that. Caves of Fear. Like, just imagine if I can bring some of these names to life, you know? Eventually I'll be passing in a bunch of attributes for, like, things that are in the zone, you know? Like, this is a kind of mountainy, craggy type area with green grass and a lot of trees, you know? I'll pass that into the LLM and I'll have it give it a name. You know, there are some caves, too, you know? We'll see what it comes up with. Let's actually, I want to do a test real quick. Let's see. So I have AI generated quests, kind of a proof of concept in the game. I don't know. Do I have it working? Actually, let me see if I have that working real quick. It might not be. I haven't touched it in so long. Give me just a colonist warrior. Okay, he's up there. Come here. Come here, buddy. Okay, are you actually generating a quest? Let me see. Oh my god, it's working. It's working! Okay, so I kind of take my whole item database and I dump it into a prompt. And I just say, hey, generate a quest. I send it to the Gemini API because it's got the million context window. Oh, here we go. Okay. Greetings. I am the feeling of the forest. Actually, let me hang on. Before I read that, let's hang on, get back here. Let me inspect him. Okay, so this is oh, he doesn't have a name. Okay, this is a 23-year-old male elf shaman who is intelligent and fragile. Oh, his name is Lachlan. Lachlan's childhood was marked by strange visions and eerie occurrences, isolating him from his peers. As he grew in his adulthood, he learned to control his powers through the experience left him emotionally fragile. Let's talk to him. What's his quest? Greetings. I am the feeling of the forest. A small voice whispers on the wind, a plea from a sprout deep within the whispering woods. It is silent. It requires the dew of a moonflower. I've been plagued by dreams of a silent sprout that refuses to grow. It needs dew kissed by a moonflower. I must find one and gather the dew. Gather dew from a moonflower located in the whispering woods. 0 out of 1. Obtain moonflower dew. Why is the sprout silent? It has lost its connection to the forest. Something dark is trying to steal its life force. Tell me more about moonflowers. They bloom only under the purest moonlight and are guarded by creatures of the night. Be careful. I will help the sprout. The wind carries your acceptance. So yeah, that's an AI generated quest. That's an AI generated quest. Now, none of that actually exists in game or anything. I do have it, like it responds with a JSON object, and I can actually like, I can parse that object and I can like spawn things. Cause I give it, like I said, I give it my whole item database so it can pick classes that I have. And it actually does a good job of like copy and pasting them essentially. So it's actually like correct classes in a correct JSON structure 90% of the time, which is great. Fantastic. So I can actually spawn things in the world. What it doesn't do a good job of is where to spawn them. It does not understand 3D space very well. Unreal or Unity? This is Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5, baby. So yeah, I have gotten it to like spawn some wolves and stuff like that, but it just kind of like spawns them in like stupid locations. So a lot more work to be done there. And I also pass it in like the names of every entity that is spawned as well, because Gemini has the million context windows. So I'm just gonna like put my entire like game lore, every single item in the game, you know, I'm just gonna put everything in there. I'll give it like what zone we're in, you know, what zone we're in, like Silent Falls, information about the zone, you know, how big is the zone, what kind of terrain features are in the zone, you know, what kind of resources are in the zone, are there any colonies in the zone, what points of interest are in the zone, what are the neighboring zones, you know. So I will literally put all of that into a giant ass fucking prompt and have it give me a JSON object in response. And I've actually seen it, like when I had a bunch of different colonists spawned into the world, I have actually seen it like reference other colonists, and I have these different quest actions. It's like an enum that it can specify in the JSON object, but it's like options for like actions for the quest. Like for this one, okay, it didn't go into my, oh, there it is. This one was like obtain, so this was like a collect one. So that means I need an item in my inventory to get completion for that, is what that effectively means. But it can also just be go and interact with something or someone. And I've actually had it pick, like I was talking to like some shaman, and it had me go talk to some other shaman that existed in the world that was just randomly spawned, you know. I didn't put that shaman there. I didn't pick that shaman's name, you know. And it was like, oh, and these two shamans were like talking back and forth through me. They were sending me to each other, which is kind of an annoying quest, but it was cool that the LLM was actually like, was building this kind of like lore, this kind of storyline where the shaman was like, oh, the spirits are restless, go talk to like my teacher shaman, you know. And then I was just running around and I found that shaman in the world. It was pretty cool. So that kind of stuff's gonna be pretty sweet. But I want to do a little test here, a little testy test. So what zone am I in right now? The Silent Falls. Okay. So okay. The following is in the following is for a fantasy, a medieval fantasy. I can't even spell medieval right, man. Fantasy video game. I can't type either. The following is for a medieval fantasy video game. You are a 23-year-old shaman in the Silent Falls zone. Silent Falls. Did I get that name right? Yeah, Silent Falls. Silent Falls is a forest biome, medium-sized zone. Let's say large zone. Large zone with dense forests and I'll just say open glades. I'll say with a combination of dense forests and open grassy glades. And open grassy glades. Silent Falls has terrain that has medium rocky hills and flatlands. Okay, I don't know how I would describe that to an LLM. I'll say medium craggy, I'll say craggy hills and flatlands. I'll say who is intelligent and fragile, because those were his traits. Generate a quest for Mydrong, who is a level 10 mage. We'll say I'm a mage. So this is just a little test to see, like, oh god, I used the thinking mode one. What are we making? I'm starting out as an Unreal Engine developer. I'm working on procedural spawns, but we're kind of taking a little bit of a side quest. So I have procedural. This is all like procedural terrain. And I got sidetracked because I was talking about the zone names, which are named by AI. This is called Silent Falls, Viridian Plains, Dragon's Den, Duskwither Bastion, you know. And eventually I'm going to have these names kind of grounded. And so I wanted to actually... I have an AI quest generator too. Analyzing the problem. It'll be really interesting. I've been focusing on deconstructing the initial request. My role as a young shaman in the Silent Falls is starting to take shape. I'm intelligent but fragile, and the forest settings provides rich potential. This initial groundwork allows for more detail. I settled on the name Kalen for the shaman, finding it suitably grounded and Celtic, refining Kalen's personality. Okay, sure, I didn't give it a name, but sure. Intelligent and fragile is a core. I'm focusing on how his intelligence shapes quest generation. I'm zeroing in on the core of the quest. The name Silent Falls hints at disruption of natural order. As a shaman, I'd naturally be concerned with this imbalance. This quest involves magical phenomena, befitting Mydrong's mage expertise. The silence likely stems from a corruption or disruption. I've been meticulously refining the quest's narrative arc. The Husk Witch concept feels strong, giving a clear antagonist for Mydrong. Formulating a narrative. And eventually I think I'll have just like overarching story, like I'll have the AI just generate an overarching story for the zone as well, like for each zone, and potentially connecting it to other zones. And then I'll feed that overarching story into like these subquests that somehow reference it. Crafting a starting quest for Mydrong. Silence of the Falls. My role is clear. I need help. I need help to resolve the disruption. The Husk Witch is a perfect antagonist, setting up intermediate goals. The Glimmer-Fanged Wolves and Thorn-backed Boars are perfect corrupted creatures to be early obstacles for Mydrong. This is quite exciting. I need to ensure the story has a satisfying conclusion for both Mydrong and Kalen. So yeah, let's see what it output here. That was just the thinking part. I guess I should have said where he was in the zone too, because now it's coming up with like it's coming up with a very opinionated picture of where the quest giver is. I would definitely love to come back after golf. Oh, happy golfing. Happy golfing. Hopefully you're still streaming. Maybe not. Probably not. You're probably going to be golfing for a while, but I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Burnt pineapples. Hush. Do you feel it? The stillness. It's not peace. It's a void. He finally looks up, his gaze analytical. So it would be cool to kind of encode some of these like flavor text type thingies too. Somehow, like I should probably come up with like some markdown format or something that it can give to me so I can parse this out. You wield the arcane. Good. A warrior's sword can't cut a corrupted echo, and a hunter's arrow can't pin a sourceless dread. I have need of your particular talents. My name is Kalen. I'm a speaker for the spirits of this forest. Or I was. Lately, they've grown quiet. The land's energy, the very lifeblood that flows through the soil and stream, is being muffled. It's like trying to listen to a song through a wall of stone. I can't venture far. My own connection is a delicate thread. This dissonance scrapes at my senses, leaves me weak. But your magic is a shield, a tool. You can walk where I cannot. I need you to be my eyes and my hands. The quest. The Silence of the Falls. Quest level 10, recommended for a mage. So usually I do it in 2 shots. One, I just say generate a quest, and then the second prompt, I go, hey, put this into a JSON object so that I can encode it. And then it'll take this and encode it into a JSON object. Attune the Seer's Locus, Objective 1. Kalen hands you a smooth gray river stone with a faint pulsing turquoise rune carved into it. This is a Seer's Locus. It will resonate with the wrongness in the woods. I need you to take it to 3 places where the force energy should be strongest. Hold the stone and let your own magic flow into it. It will record the nature of the interference. Now, it would be cool if we had to, like, craft that first, right? If he was like, hey, I need materials, bring these materials back to me. I'm going to make you a Seer's Locus, which you could use to, like, attune yourself to the fucking... the DP darkies. The DP darkies in the forest. Okay, it's coming up with like zones here. Attune the locust at the sunken glade. Find the glade where the ancient moss grows thickest on the trees. Yeah, it comes up with too much stuff that is not in the game. Climb the highest hill in the eastern part of the falls. Now it is taking, I did say glade and I did say crag, so it is taking those. Attune the locust at the headwaters. Go to the pool where the silent falls are meant to begin their journey. So it's assuming that there's a waterfall in this zone, which is not a bad assumption, but I don't have water, so I can't really do that. And you return to him, and then he's asking me to go destroy 3 corrupted totems. The totems are crude constructions of blighted wood and bone, pulsing with purple energy. A simple weapon will not destroy them. They are protected by a powerful arcane ward. You must overload them by channeling your own magic directly into their core. Each totem will be guarded by blight-twisted sprites and a mana-starved prowlers. Creatures drawn to and warped by the arcane siphon. Now, these are things that it would pick from my item database had I given it, but this is just like a test prompt. Oh, I'm getting 1250 XP, 15 silver pieces. Oh, and I get to choose between one of the following. Staff of Reawakened Grove, 2-handed staff, 4 intellect, 3 spirit. Increases my nature resistance by 5. Love that. Very flavorful. Love that. Kalen's Woven Mantle, cloth shoulders. 3 intellect, 2 stamina, restores 2 mana every 5 seconds. I love that. I love that it came up with some very nice equipment there. That's so cool. I think eventually what I'll do is I'll have to have like stat presets to give it. And because it's not going to be able to reliably pick stats that make sense for the level of equipment that it is, right? And that's something I would want to have control over as the game designer. So I think rather what I would have it do is it can definitely come up with a name. That's wonderful. And then I think I'll have a bunch of models to pick from and a bunch of icons to pick from. And I'll just tag those models and icons. I'll give it a class, the class name for it, so it can pick it. And then I think if I were to, just tag it with a bunch of descriptors, like this would be like a gnarled wooden staff. I'm sure it would pick that for like a nature-y type thing, And then maybe I can have like some stat presets where it'd be like, okay, this is for like, some, because like in WoW they have like of the wolf, of the boar, these suffixes. Or of the wolf is like, what is of the wolf? Of the boar is strength and spirit. Of the bear is strength and stamina, right? So those little like kind of preset combos maybe you can pick from. But then I would need to do some RNG in the game according to the level of the item to actually roll what the stats will be. And then maybe I'll let it pick from like some random extras if it wants to. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Love that. Anyways, back to work. So we have the spawn locations. We just gotta, oh my god, dude, what is happening here? The crashes today are extraordinary. Yeah, what is this, man? Like there's so many happening that were not happening yesterday. And none of them have anything to do with my code directly. which is super annoying. I would rather it be something I did wrong rather than something super ambiguous. It seems to suck at texture streaming today. Texture streaming is not doing too hot. I don't even know what this T roots alpha is. I don't know what that texture is. Am I even using that? Oh, I am. Oh, it's for the IS. Oh, the tree roots. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I wonder why that's happening so much today. But anyways, let me look at terrain chunk. So terrain chunk is the class where I run PCG from. As you can see, I have the run PCG. And then there's like a PCG finish generating function, right? Yeah, there we go. So I need to get some output data, and I'm wondering if I should PCG component. I can get graph. Is there like output? Get output node. Get output pin. Oh, it needs a label. I wonder, is there, let's see here. Unreal Engine getting data out of PCG. Getting data out of PCG. Get generated graph output node within a blueprint. Why do I feel like that's not actually a node? I feel like that's not actually a node. Oh my god, it's a fucking node. It's crazy. What? Okay, so what do you do? Take me to C++. Take me. Okay, we're gonna have to search for it. Get, what was it? Get graph, get generated graph output. Get generated graph output. And that is on the PCG component. Wonderful. Okay, so I have that. PCG component. Get generated. Okay, you know what I just realized? The Google search AI overview was actually kind of fucking helpful right there. That's crazy. That's the first time I've seen that. And it was actually correct, which is even crazier. Get generated graph output, which gives me a PCG data collection. What do I want to do with that collection? Can't I like get all inputs, get inputs, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Welcome in, Jeff. Get tagged inputs, probably. Yeah, that's usually what we do. Oh, it needs a tag, though. Can I just get inputs by pin, probably? Get generated graph output. Probably just like get all... I think probably just get all inputs. Or is there outputs as well? I think it's just outputs. Maybe just tag data, actually. So, auto output tagged data. I recognize that font everywhere. It's JetBrains. It is indeed. Good eye. Good eye. Output tag data. Okay, so we have a tag data. What type are you? FPCG tag data. Nice. Okay. So tag data, let's not do copies. That could be expensive. Data. Get. Duplicate data. I need the point data. What type is this? This is a FPCG data pointer wrapper. So I get just a UPCG data. So I think I just have to cast this. Get object pointer. And get, it gives me what? A const. I mean, they're both const. What's the difference? Get, and I think I have to cast this. So I'm going to auto point data equals cast. Cast this to UPCG point data. We're going to see if that works. UPCG point data pointer, and it probably wants to be const, right? Yeah. Point data. Okay. So let's just do a log here. UEL log finish generating output points. Output points, point data.num. I just want to see how many there are, really. Oh, get num points. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Okay. We're going to run live coding there. So that shouldn't hurt anything. So that shouldn't hurt anything. And then let's take a look at our PCG graphs. First of all, we are going to disconnect you because you are no longer going to work. We're going to do you in C++ now. Okay, so that is connected there. We connect you to the output. Now you, here we go. Okay, output. Yes. Need to make sure I do that in the other graph too. Output. Output. Default caves. Oh, that's caves. No, wait. It didn't save my other subgraph. Default background spawns. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, save, please, this time. Okay. Okay. Okay, so clear that, and then what did I name this log? PCG finish generating. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. Let's grab a new seed, 235. We're gonna see if we get that data. Oh, we got a nice mountain. Good seed, good seed. Got a nice tall mountain there. Look at that. This is Unreal Engine. Oh, point data is null. Point data is null. Okay, what is this data then? PCG point data array. Okay. Can I do like a 2 spatial? Maybe how do I do, maybe I can do use spatial data. But this is Unreal Engine, so we're working on a game. Unreal Engine C++ is the language for UE. We're working on a video game. We're doing working on the procedural terrain, procedural mob spawns. And I'm trying to get data out of my PCG graph. PCG point data array. Can I cast to that? PCG point array data. Sorry. Well, let's make it to where we don't crash next time. Point data. It's incomplete. Okay, yeah, just include that. There we go. Okay. Run that. Am I making a JRPG type thing? No. No. No, I am not. Am I creating inv? If you mean, am I working on the environment? Yes. So it'll be RPG, Colony Sim Roguelite combo of genres is what I'm going for with procedural terrain. So yesterday we just did some procedural terrain refactoring and stuff, finished that. So we're trying to get the procedural spawn locations baked in. Not baked in, but generated. So that's what we're working on right now. I'm trying to get the output data from that. So we've decided a little bit as to how the points should be generated. Now I just need to actually get them. Now we just need to actually get them. Okay, let's run that again. There's the terrain. She's spawning. I love this. We got some nice tall mountains here. And I love how the altitude is higher up over here than it is down here. Do you use GitHub Copilot / Cursor on your day-to-day life? I do have Copilot. I do not use Cursor. Oh, we are getting points now. We are getting points. Look at this. We have our points. Yay! I suppose I should probably tag that data, though, you know? Because I may want to output some more points from that, too, someday. So we should definitely tag the data. But yeah, we have those points. And for an example of what those points look like, we'll turn on debugging for it. And so here's the white dots are the generated points, spawn locations. Yeah, and we need to cull all those. So we need to do some post-processing on it. Now there's a lot fewer now because we've increased. Wow, there's a lot right here. That's a. Oh yeah, there's a lot right there. But yeah, let me. I think what I want to do. Go here. No, here. Pause the graph real quick. Can I tag? How do I tag data? I've never done this before. Tags to data attributes. Data tags to attribute sets. Add tags. That's probably what I want. Tags to add prefix suffix. Okay. Let's just do spawn. We'll say background on locations. Oh, come on, come back here. And then that way I can just get that specific data. Tag, and I can just be like background spawn locations. Hopefully that just gives me what I want. Any suggestions for channels from where I can learn? And what thing I need, like only C++ for another language. What I don't want to do in C++, never touch PCG, so I have zero knowledge. Yeah, so there's a lot going on for what I'm doing right here. So, and all this is the culmination of 2.5 years of work on this project for me. So if you're asking like, where do you start with Unreal Engine? I mean, the first thing you got to do is just jump in the engine. I don't have specific resources because that's not how I learn, you know. I just kind of tackle problems one at a time. You know, just got to break it down and figure out what you don't know and what you need to know to get your whatever small piece that you're working on or trying to figure out done. So lots of Googling, tons of YouTube channels out there for Unreal Engine related things. You don't need C++, but because there is blueprints and visual scripting interfaces in Unreal Engine. But yeah, I don't have a good answer for the generic, you know, where do I go to start? If you have more specific questions about certain systems, I can probably give you a better answer. There should only be one of these, right? There should only be one. And actually, let me look at this data real quick. Because I think I need to add some additional information here. Yeah, I don't know what I need to add these attributes to it as well. Oh yeah, and there are going to be multiple actually. Let me look at this. There's only one. I feel like there should be two. Yeah, because we should be looping. Real Funny Bears, hello, welcome in. You should tell YouTube to come to Twitch. To each their own. Each their own. Yeah, so I need to like tag these these data sets with what spawn they represent. So this is giving me 24, but then I'm also only getting 24 from this. So is this actually fucking looping the way that I want it to? Data collection will be split into 1 data per execution. Yeah, these only have 1 loop. From what I'm seeing, they should have 2. They should have 2. How can I learn Unreal? Type that into Google. Type that into Google and start going. Okay, so this is not creating the loop as I expected it to. Okay, how does this fucking loop work? Let me see. Let's go back to that. Are you now going to loop multiple times? Please. Bro. No, bro, you. That's how I learned. I started typing things into Google. I went and downloaded Unreal Engine. How to move character. How to do procedural generation. You know. Start small. Think big, but break it down into small pieces and figure out how to do those really small pieces. Yeah, like I was saying before, I don't have a great answer for the generic, you know, how do I get into this? How do I get started? Other than you just go start. Just go start. If you have more specific questions about specific systems in Unreal Engine, I can give you more specific answers. And I understand that that's not not the answer you were looking for, and it's not super helpful, and I'm sorry. But yeah, I learned by doing and just by figuring out, like I said, break down whatever you want to do into the smallest pieces possible, into the simplest form. Go on YouTube. Tons of YouTube videos out there on Unreal Engine. There's some good documentation for Unreal Engine. Go look at that. You know, but you really have to get hands-on. You really have to get hands-on. I don't know if I need to rerun this or not. I'm kind of waiting for things to happen, and nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Force regen. So it's only looping once. I don't know how this loop node works then, I guess. Googling is the best way to learn. That's why everyone makes jokes that the difference between junior and senior devs is that seniors can Google better. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a college degree, so sometimes I joke about how Google gave me a degree. Nonetheless, I am a software engineer now, so it can be done. It can be done. What is the white dot below the tree? Those are the spawn. Those are the spawn points that I'm trying to get out of the graph. And I have some in the output log here. So I am like getting those from the graph, but I need to tag it with what those spawn points represent. And in looking into that, I'm now figuring out that my spawn loop is not looping. And I'm trying to figure out why. I don't know how this loop works. Comma-separated list of pin names on which we will loop by element in a stepwise fashion. We have 2 elements here. Funnily enough, I work at Google. Somehow ended up there. Why aren't you looping the way? Do I need to like partition? Let me try partitioning this. Attribute partition. Partition by index. Partition by index. And then put that in there. Oh shit. Oh god. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, cool. Okay, let's see. Force regen. Are you going to start doing things? Okay, I am getting output, so it is trying to do things. Give me this chunk. Give me this chunk. Select that chunk. We are on that chunk. In. Partition. We did partition it. Elements. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Are you gonna work now? You're self-taught as well? I respect that. There are dozens of us. I don't understand what these mean. In a given iteration, it will receive data from the output pin of the same name of the previous loop. I don't use the same name, so I'm not sure if that does anything. Error. Attribute index not found. Ow. Ow. Okay, do I need the $sign? Oh, I think I do. I think I do. Okay, now rerun you. Although it was partitioning before, what the heck? What the heck? Attribute index not found. What do you mean, brother? It's right there. Copy attribute name. That's a nice feature. I didn't know that was a thing. Paste. Okay, I pasted it exactly. I may... Let's rerun. Let's rerun the whole thing. What am I trying to make? I'm trying to make a video game. RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo is what I'm going for. Procedural terrain, as we see. Oh god, are we thread locked? Oh no. Yes, we are. We are. God damn it, where's Dr. Elliot? I need him here. It happened again. Okay. Yeah, this is the same thing that has happened before. And do I scope lock here in this function? I do. I do. Why does that happen? That doesn't make sense. Scope lock should handle that, from what Dr. Elliot is telling me, was telling me. And I would have thought so as well. Apparently that's not how scope locks work. Which is frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yeah, so the type of game I'm working on, Unreal Engine, C++ is what we're doing. RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. RPG something like Vanilla WoW minus the MMO part. You know, just lots of classes, lots of talents, lots of abilities to choose from. Combat will be similar. Hopefully a little bit more interactive. We're also going to do Colony Sim side of things. Something like RimWorld is what I'm going for. One of my favorite games of all time. So you can go out in the world, you can recruit colonists to join your colony, you can give them jobs, go chop wood, go, you know, cook meals, go construct buildings, go plant, you know, tend to the crops, tend to the animals, that kind of thing. And your base can get attacked. It'll get attacked by raiders every so often with increasing difficulty. And so the loop will be, you will be going out in the world and exploring procedural terrain. And you'll be trying to, you know, get better gear, better resources, better colonists to grow your colony. To better defend against all these attacks and stuff like that. Dude, I am so tired of this. I am so freaking tired of this. Is Unreal Engine really that hard? It is not trivial, I'll say that. Mahesh, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Thank you, thank you. Is it really that hard? I mean, what I am doing is difficult. I'll say that. It is not the easiest thing to do. A lot of what I'm doing is outside the concept of what is built into Unreal Engine. But yeah, there's a ton of systems in Unreal Engine. There's a huge learning curve. Huge upfront learning curve. Get endless terrain. Interesting. Yeah, the crashes today are very unforgiving. I think that's false now. I don't think that's true. Any more? Yeah, we were doing a ton of line traces. How much does it help in game development having good C++ knowledge? Well, I can only speak on behalf of Unreal Engine, but Unreal Engine C++ is quite a bit different. It has its own reflection system built on top of it, and so you don't use really any of the same data types other than primitives. Real Funny Bears, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Are you planning on creating the mechanics one at a time to mostly completion, or get the basics of all and iterate as you go? I have a very iterative style of development. I'm very, a little bit here, a little bit there, especially because like I still don't really know. You know, I have been working on this for 2.5 years, but you know, I'm new to game dev, new to Unreal Engine, new to C++ as well. So still a lot of learning happening. So I think that works well with iteration. As I learn more about the engine, when I do a little bit on each system, and then I figure out how they can better fit together and stuff like that. Is it C-Line from JetBrains? It is Rider from JetBrains. So built specifically for Unreal Engine and Unity. And it's really nice. Highly recommend it. The only other option for Unreal Engine is Visual Studio, which kind of fucking sucks. Yeah, I need to make this. I need to spend some time on making this more stable, because this is getting quite frustrating. Especially when I start spawning entities. Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of fucking crashes for sure, for sure. Like I've tried to run this twice now, and it's crashed both times. And these assertions are so annoying too. Visual Assist is pretty good for Unreal stuff too, which is a VS extension. I'm not sure. Is that a newer thing? If it is, I have no idea what that is. I try not to open Visual Studio very much. This is a silly place. Where did I spawn? Oh yeah, nice. Just on the edge of a fucking cliff. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, let me look at... let me get these organized a little bit. Okay. What do we got here? Just give me this chunk here. Okay, so we have data. It did partition correctly. We have 2 sets. How many loops? We do have our 2 loops now. Thank fucking God. Okay. Thank fucking God. So then the output, I should have multiple outputs here. I do. Nice. Okay. Beautiful. That's what we want. So now I need to not only add the tag for the common prefix to add to all tags. I don't know what that is. But I think I need to tag it with the index as well. It's been around for many years now. I use it for work. Yeah. And I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe I didn't use it. I'm not sure what it does, but I can tell you that Writer did a much better job at teaching me how Unreal Engine works and the things I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. Did a much, much better job of that. I think the auto completions are better. Type ahead stuff, code coloring, the generate code functions are better. I just understand the hotkeys better as well. It's got some really nice templates for like creating classes. It's got some really nice macros. It's really nice. It's really nice, especially if you're used to JetBrains IDEs. Anyways, yeah, I need to tag it with like this attribute set or something. Let me pause region on this graph. Let me see here. I can add the attributes individually. I can just add an index attribute. What do we have on here so far? Well, it's got the index of the point. Got the index of the points on there. So should I just do it as another tag? Data attributes to tags. What does that do? Copy data attributes and their values to tags. The tags can have values. Get that out of here. I'm not using you anymore. Delete inputs after operation. Tags to data attributes. Where's tags and create data? Yeah, I don't know how these work. I feel like I just want to like add it as an attribute. Get loop index. Say I'll have the zone and everything. Can I name it? Output, copy all attributes. Okay, can I rename this then? Rename, attribute rename. Attribute to rename. I think it's probably just index, right? Loop index is what it's called. So we're going to rename loop index to spawn archetype index. What do I call that property? Background spawn index. And that'll just be on every point now. Output target. Can you no absolutely zero comment on that one. Wonderful. Where's it? Copy all attributes. Input source. Okay, I think I can rename it with that. Let's see. So we're gonna go loop index to background spawn index. Okay, unpause regen. I will be inspecting your output, and I should be getting the 2 different values for that. But we need you to rerun. Or are you rerunning? Okay, you are rerunning. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, it's gonna take a while. There are a lot of graphs running, one for every terrain chunk. Okay. Background spawn index 0. 1. Okay, we did it. We did it. Okay, so now that we've tagged that, get rid of that. Save that. So now we should have multiple outputs now. So let me do a little breaky point here. Hit me with the breaky point. There we go. Okay, output tag data. I should have 2 sets for everything. Yes, we do have the 2 sets. We've got the 2 sets. Is heavy math required to build game? I'm not really that good at trigonometry. You know, I wasn't either, and I got better at it. But is it required to build a game? No. There's a lot of built-in things, and there's a lot of answers out there already. AI is really helpful with math as well. But it really just depends on what kind of game you're making, right? If you're making kind of like a standard game, a lot of that's going to be just done for you. And it'll just be you connecting the pieces together. For me, what I'm doing a lot of procedural generation. That is heavy math. There's a lot of math involved, and I had to get better at that. I don't have a college education, so I've got a high school level of pre-calc that I don't remember at all. So I have to learn as I go. I'm sure you will too. Some 3D vector math is super helpful, but again, not super necessary. But you will probably find that you want to do something that requires a little bit of math. But it's more so just vector math, not necessarily trigonometry. And AI is super helpful. There's probably tons of questions and answers on forums and stuff like that. I'm trying to look at my metadata here. Where is it? There it is. What do we have here? They changed how metadata works. This is now much more confusing. Don't you love that? Key default. Oh my god. How nested are they making this metadata? Attributes. Jesus Christ. Okay. Null pointer. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, so it does have the metadata on it. I'm good at learning when I need to apply it somewhere. Yeah, I'm the same way. I have to be. I need something to use the knowledge for it to actually like solidify. Yeah, if you're good like that, you should have no problem. You should have no. Well, I shouldn't say no problem, but you should know what you need to do to figure it out. Okay, so for each output data, I need to get the background spawn index. Metadata. Is there not just like a get attribute? I forgot. How do I get attribute? I know I've done it somewhere. That's an attribute set. Yeah, let me look at my chunk surface sampler code. Data, metadata, find or create attributes. I'm actually getting the value though. I can set the value. How do I get the value? I've definitely done this somewhere before. Does printing hello world would help B do all that? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I can get the attribute, and I probably can just let me copy this. Let me copy pasta here. Give me that. Oh, come on, writer. There we go. Okay, so we need to do this. Point data, metadata, and then this is going to be an attribute of type. It's probably int. This is going to be background spawn index attribute. Default value, -1. background spawn index. Okay. So background spawn index. I hope I can do background spawn index get value. PCG metadata value key from item. Get value. Oh, right. I need to give it the point data. What is it? Metadata key? Something like that? Or is it key? Is it on here? I forget. I can't even type. Key. Metadata. Entry. Oh yeah, it's like metadata entry. Right? Do you have any tips for getting more into coding? I mean, I just always like to have a project or something to work towards. Like, I'm not very good at actually learning things from just following a tutorial from beginning to end. That doesn't really teach me a whole lot because I'm not using it for anything. So I like to come up with projects that I'm interested in some way. And I just kind of start at the bottom and get going. Try to break it down. Learn as I go, whatever I need to continue on that project. How do I get the goddamn attribute key? I thought there was something on the... Well, okay, I'm breakpointed, so I can take a peek here. Data. 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 PCG point archery, PCG data. Metadata. Is it on the metadata? Hang on. Let me find, is this used anywhere? Let me look at an example here. Metadata key. Is it just the index of the point? Is that what I'm seeing? They changed it. They have changed it. Entry key. How do you, what? Of course, there's no like just straightforward example in the source code, is there? That's too much to ask for. Default is just -1. So I guess it is just like an index, right? And am I using this anywhere in my code? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Those are not the right ones. I thought I was doing that somewhere. Or is it just, it's probably just in the underlying, let me look up my environment item spawner. Static mesh attribute, set value. I'm not getting that value anywhere, am I? What about in the underlying? What about in the underlying function? Okay, I'm still not seeing any usages of the attribute. I thought there was some somewhere. Mesh selector by attributes. Let me see. Where's that mesh selector by attribute? Yeah, go to that. Has attribute get. Oh wait, where was it? Get const attribute base. Okay, it's not doing anything with attribute base. Delete attribute, copy attribute. Set attribute name. Where is it actually getting the value of the attribute though? So it's just copying points there. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that it's the index of the point. But that's a little weird because I have two arrays, so I don't know how that's gonna work. Okay, get value, and we'll just do I. Get value I. Now, does this return, is it typed? I might need to pass the type. Let's see, int, background, spawn, index. Okay, it just, it can infer that type, wonderful. Okay, so let's log this. I guess this all needs to go in the if point data. Okay, let's check that out. Come on, live coding, you can do it. You can do it. I guess I don't necessarily need that yet, but I'll need it eventually. I think the first thing I need to do is test these points and kind of filter them and stuff. So let's stop. Get a new seed. I like that seed. That was a cool seed. But 236. Okay, middle of the ocean. Actually, no, we're in a biome. Okay, we're in a plains. Neat. Okay, window, give me the output log. Okay, I do see indices popping up here, so I think we did that right. And they are different, and that's good. They're alternating, and I think that's what I would expect. The land of the satyrs. Yellowstone Quarry. Haunted Moors. Emberfrost Caverns. Oh, that's the ocean right there. That's supposed to be ocean, I guess. Oh, and then there's the island here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, that is kind of cool. So there's like, there would be ocean here if I had the water working. Then this island. So when I'm finished, this mountain will not be here. This area here will be dropped down, and then there will be a water body there. This mountain will not be there either. And there'll be a coastline where this mountain is, and that mountain is, and that one. There'll be this nice little body of water right here, which will be cool. which will be cool. But okay, we verified that that works. Okay, so am I on the game thread at this point? What thread am I on here? I am on the game thread, okay. So I may want to kick this off to a background thread to process these points. But I verified that I have all the data that I want here. So we should probably write a function for processing spawn points. Where should that function live? It doesn't necessarily need to live on a rain chunk. I do need to do the pathfinding. I'm going to rewrite that in C++, I suppose. Are you coding or making the map? Yeah, so it's all procedural generation map. So we're working on the spawn points that go on the map for spawning things and stuff. Things and stuff. I'm trying to think about how I want to structure this though. So everything's finished generating. And I suppose I need to wait for, I need to like save this data and wait for the navigation to finish. Which I don't know that I necessarily have that info. I don't know when the navigation is finished for this terrain chunk. I'm not sure, at least. Let's go into, where is my component? There's the chunk. Okay. Navigation bounds. Has custom navigable geometry, is navigation relevant. So is there any let's just search navigation. Nav relevant interface. I would like to know when navigation is finished generating. I don't know that I know that. Yo, what's up? What's up to you? Welcome in. Get navigation bounds. I would like to figure out what the superclass for this is. Is it just the iNav relevance interface? Thought there was another nav thing. I may have to go find it. Dynamic mesh component, which will be that, which will be mesh component, primitive, nav relevant interface, physics component. Is there anything else? Okay, so I think it is just that nav relevant interface. iNav relevant interface. Okay, so let's look at you. What functions do you have? I want like a nav finished generating function. I do not see that. God, I swear, I wish take me back to when I was actually working on the navigation. I'm pretty sure there's another class that I need to look at. Go back to terrain chunk. Go back to terrain chunk. Isn't there like a maybe it's in the chunk class? Nothing exciting in here. Is it in this class? Nav relevant interface. This is just on primitive components. That custom, a lot of stuff I've already seen. Update components. Let me take a look at this. On nav relevant object registered. I would like on nav relevant object finished generating or something like that. We're just finished. On navigation generation finished. That's just for the whole nav data though. I need it just for one component. Is that a thing? There's a delegate. Find path, navigation finished. I need just, let me do a Google search then. Unreal Engine on nav finished for component. I need it for just a specific component. Yeah, I did just see that delegate, but that seems to be for the entire component, or the entire nav mesh, not just a singular component. Oh man, I was digging through the nav code at one point. I should have nailed this down then. Because now I've forgotten everything. On nav relevant something register. On nav relevant object register the object. What else do we have here? Register component to nav octree. Get nav octree for get nav octree ID for element. Has pending update for element. That could be interesting. What is an F navigation element handle? Structure used to identify unique navigation element registered in the nav system. Handle can be created to represent two cases. Okay. A lot of deprecated functions here. As pending update for element. So that may be able to be used for like a, you know, if it's not pending, if there's no pending update, then I can assume the navigation is finished. Dev Mobile, hello. Welcome in. Oh boy. Let me see. Let me think here. How do I want to do this? Let me open up the recast nav mesh. I'm not seeing anything that would be relevant to me. Is time slice region active? Bunch of deprecated functions. Sort pending build tiles. Should dirty tiles requested by object. Yeah, not seeing anything in here either. Back to the navigation system. Is navigation building locked? Is it permanently locked? Is navigation build in progress? I mean, that's, I need that for a specific component though. Because the world is big and navigation is going to be generating for a long time. I thought it would be in the nav relevant interface. I thought there would be something. Navigation relevant data. Does that have anything? Oh, I can get this source element, which I could pass into that one function I found, right? It was an F navigation element. It was like, is pending. It was pending something, right? As pending update for element. It's F navigation element handle. Okay, so it's a handle for this. Which I can get handle. Okay, let's see here then. Okay, so get the dynamic chunk mesh. Get navigation data. F navigation data. Is it data export? What do you take in? F navigation relevant data. Okay, give me that. Call you nav data. So give me the nav data. Wonderful. Okay, you don't like to be... Default constructor is deleted. Wonderful. Wonderful. How the fuck do I, Do you need to be like a pointer? Then I will dereference that point. That's probably... Let's see if this is used anywhere. It's probably not how you should do that. Okay, that's not going to help me. Because I can't read. Okay, nowhere am I seeing how that's actually passed in. Okay, it's all just like... Okay. How do I fucking use that? How do I use that? What's the, it's a shared pointer. It extends a shared, T shared from this. So should I do like make shared? If I spell it right, is that better? Doesn't like that, huh? Make shared. Yeah, I guess you need like an actual instance of it. How do you make a fucking instance of this? Which IDE? This is Writer, JetBrains. Bro, nowhere am I seeing an instantiation of this. Can I please get an example? I would love just a single example, please. Yeah, I know I would get a shared pointer. It extends from a shared pointer, so I thought that's what I would want to do. Okay, I found the actual constructors for it, which are in a completely different file. We can instantiate it from other nav data, which seems weird. That is the only way to create this, apparently, which is really weird. None of these are actually used. These are just equality operators. How does this class fucking work? I can't find where this is actually instantiated in the engine. Yeah, I'm not sure what the intention of this is. I can't find any examples. For some reason I can't write code on my own without help from the internet. Yeah, that happens for a while. That takes a while. I think I did that for 2 years at a bare minimum when I started. Oh, here's a constructor that I didn't see. Hang on. Now here's a constructor. Where are you used at? Here we go. I found it. Here we go. From the nav element. So do I have like a nav element? No. How do I get the fucking nav element now? I need that to construct this thing. Oh, what a can of worms this is. What a can of worms this is. Nav relevant interface. Nav real GPU. God damn. God damn. Okay, so I have no idea where that navigation element would be for this component. Dirty element, navigation element, add element to Octree. Add level collision to Octree. Navigation dirty element. Yeah, I don't know that I have access to this component's nav element. Noob Trader, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. I feel like what I'm trying to do is definitely not intended. I'm feeling the engine fight back on what I want to do. I mean, they are just boxes, so I wonder, is there just a... like to get dirty tiles in bounds or something? I guess I don't need to also make sure that navigation exists as well. in an area. On navigation bounds updated. I guess you can update the bounds at runtime. Interesting. You'd think that there would be a fucking function for this. What does nav data get? Okay, that doesn't do any. That doesn't help me. Is navigation relevant? Get navigation parent. And there's got to be someone else that there's got to be someone else who's tried to do what I'm trying to do. I just need to figure out when a specific component has finished generating its navigation. For like a dynamic nav mesh, or a dynamic runtime generated nav mesh. Which I guess a lot of people don't use that. They use like a baked nav mesh, so. Yeah, I'm definitely outside of the realm of help, I believe. So I do have the bounds. So I'm wondering if did I see like maybe I can like get dirty tiles in bounds, and if there's none there I can assume it's finished or something. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Has dirty tiles, and I can give it the bounds. Let's try that. It's not an event. That's frustrating. I definitely don't want my shit to be ticking. My terrain chunks to be ticking all the time. We can do it for just a test, though, just to see. We'll do it just to see. So let's throw in a tick function here. I may need to enable tick, we'll see. But on tick, I need to get the recast nav mesh generator. Oh, do I have that actually? My recast nav mesh. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that the generator. Well, let's just get the nav mesh first. So let's just get actor of class, right? Isn't there a EU Kismet system library get actor? What is it? EU gameplay statics maybe? Get actor of class. There we go. U or AMI recast nav mesh. I assume that's what we do. World context. Yeah. Get world. Then you get the generator from the nav mesh system. Oh, right. You nav system. I do that somewhere. Right? Is it the abstract nav data? I think it's main nav data, right? A navigation data. Recast nav mesh. A navigation data. Yeah, I think it's that. I think I just have to cast this. Auto recast. Cast. My recast nav mesh. Well, probably just a recast nav mesh. Okay, if recast get generator. Nice. Is build has oh no, was that not pending? Right, it was something pending. I've already forgotten the function that I was going to use. Shit. Wait, it was on the nav mesh, or no, it was on the nav generator. Which get generator, yeah, an F nav generator. Pin that. So don't forget it again. This is not what I was looking at. There was a different one. There was a different one, right? I searched for, what did I search for? Bounds? Dirty tiles and bounds. Let's go up. What the? I was just looking at it. Am I gonna have to go back in my own VOD to find it? Okay, time to use my own VOD. That is super late. That is super delayed. That is not. Recast nav mesh generator. Has dirty tiles. Has dirty tiles. Pause. It was specifically recast nav mesh generator. That was the class, not nav data generator. Okay, has dirty tiles. Okay, so get generator. I guess we need to cast that. Recast Ginny. Okay. Cast that to, what are you? F recast nav mesh generator. Okay, F generator. Okay. If we have a recast Ginny. Has dirty tiles. Get dynamic chunk mesh. Get navigation bounds. Oh boy, okay. Okay, what do I want to do with this now? I guess I just want to know if this changes. Has dirty tiles. I'll say B. Call this recast. If these are not equal, set it equal to that and tell me what it is. I just don't want this to log like every single time. Yeah, just don't log every single time and we should be good there. Okay, do I need to rebuild? Yeah, I need to rebuild. So this is not how I should do this. This is not how I should do this on tick. It's quite bad. Oh, excuse me. But we're gonna test and see if it works. Use cast on a type that's not a U object or interface. Because of the recast nav data generator. I guess I need to use a C cast. And I might need to do the same down there, we'll see. Okay, that compiled. We'll see if we even get here. Okay, and then let's just, sure, just put, I fucking named it tick, but sure. Put it in there. I just need to see the differences, really. So, navigation, I don't even know. It hasn't started yet. The world has to finish building first. Okay, so now there goes navigation. Okay, it's skipping. It's skipping chunks. There it goes. Yeah, so we're not getting there at all. I'm seeing no logs for that. Oh, it's not ticking. That's fucking why. That would make sense. What is it? Primary active tick can't ever tick true. I even said I may have to enable tick. Okay, is this gonna work? Is it ticking at all now? No, it is not. Okay, hang on, pause. Give me. Okay, it's async generation. Okay, so you can't like enable tick. Okay, tick enabled by default? Yeah, it's kind of annoying how many things you have to change. You'd think it would just be one thing. tick enabled. Yeah, I literally turned this on. I do this in other classes. Can never tick when paused. That's all I do there. Can't ever tick. Primary active tick, can't ever tick. Primary active, maybe I have to respawn them. Oh yeah, because I put it in the constructor. I put it in the constructor, so this is fine. This is fine. I just need to restart. So, or is it because, yeah, that didn't take effect. And why would it? Why would it? Okay, now we're ticking. Now we're ticking. Okay. We are going. Okay, we have changed. As dirty tiles is true. Does it ever go false? Yes, I see false. Okay. And that does look correct. That is chunk 00. Is this Java? No. It is C++. Unreal Engine C++. Okay, so we can rely on that. We can rely on that. I guess I need to wait for the first has dirty tiles equal to true, though, because that returns false at first. And it's like once it returns true, then navigation is started. And then the next time it goes false, that's when navigation is finished. And then I can parse my spawn locations. Then I can filter through my spawn locations to make sure that they're actually spawning on navigable terrain. Okay, so what's probably the best way to do this? Because I don't need this ticking at all times. There's like can't you like enable and disable the tick? Right? Yeah, set actor tick enabled. Wait, was there another one? Is there just like an is tick enabled? I might want to just do that. I know there is on the tickable component. Or the tickable object or whatever. Tick actor. No, there's not. So we'll just have to set it enabled and disabled. When we're done. Right? So it should be enabled by default. Actually, let's disable it by default. Because it's only once the terrain chunk spawns or finishes generating that we even need to start checking. So let's just go set actor tick enabled false. Oh, and I can set the tick interval. Yeah, we don't need the tick interval to be very high either. Tick interval. Is it in seconds? Is that in seconds? Or what? Or is that milliseconds? Frequency in seconds. Okay, it is in seconds. So we can just check every 10 seconds. Like it doesn't need to be crazy. Actually, 10 seconds is kind of high. Let's just do like every 2 seconds. Because this is not going to take for very long. So it's not enabled. We set the tick enabled probably when we finish generating. Yeah, so we do navigation relevant, and then let's do set actor tick enabled to true. Set tick enabled in order to check for nav mesh finish. So do that. And then once it is finished, once this changes to false, so I'm wondering if that's because I don't turn it on. I don't turn the tick on until after I call for the navigation to start. Hopefully it returns has dirty tiles immediately, but it is async, so I probably can't rely on that. I probably cannot rely on that. I think I need a separate boolean for like bool b has nav started. Has nav started. Has nav started equals true. Honestly, I could put this on the component. This could all go on the component. We're going to roll with this for now. I'm loving this Diablo soundtrack, though. So, the first time we get to have dirty tiles, B has dirty tiles true. Do I need to? I think I actually do. I think I shouldn't set the tick interval, because what if it goes from? What if it goes within that interval from has dirty tiles to doesn't have dirty tiles? Then I would miss my triggers. It's not a huge deal. They shouldn't be ticking for very long, and it's a pretty minimalistic tick as well. And I don't need to do these parts on the tick. I can do that outside of tick as well. So if B has nav started and recast does not have dirty tiles, I'll just call this B nav finished. So we have nav finished. Okay, so give me this. We're going to need to initialize this stuff. So I just need the recast Ginny. I don't know if this needs to be a U property, but we're going to go with it anyway. Recast Ginny. Okay, so that's all initialized. Now we don't need to do that on tick. And then let's just make sure we have one. Okay. And yeah, this should maybe just be put on the dynamic mesh chunk itself. Oh, you can't be. You cannot be a U property. And you're not a U class. So I think that makes sense. Okay. And I should probably call a function, right? I'll say nav finished generating. And let's just call that nav finished generating. And I guess we don't even need that. I mean, that might be useful later, though. That might be useful later. Okay, I'm gonna rebuild that, and I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll be back. BRB. I am back. Hello. Okay, let's finish this up. Let us finish this up. We got all of our data and such. Let's make sure the nav function gets called properly. Nav finished generating. Okay. What is this? Why are you angry? Okay, that's just the assertion. Okay, that was a weird breakpoint line for that. Okay, we're generating. Render the nav mesh. Well, actually don't. Because it generates faster when you don't render it. Oh my god. Wait, do we have a dynamic chunk mesh? Okay, why is this failing now? Interesting. Why is this failing now? It was working before. Has dirty tiles. Tile size in world units. Am I hitting an assertion or what? Hard to tell. I am, okay. Why am I hitting that now though? What are the bounds? The bounds are not 0. Those are the right bounds. Tile size in world units. Was it just not ready to call this? I can hear the spawn effect running. Okay, is this point null now? Is that... Okay. Yeah, why was this fine before? Is this inconsistent? So let's just run this again and see. Let's just see if that fails again. Are we building? Are we going here? Okay, let's try that again. We're just gonna see if it fucking fails. Yeah, let's close tabs to the right for now. We don't need this. Okay, it happened again. Why is it happening now? It was not happening before. When I was getting this, okay, let me change this. To get it every frame. Let's try that. Oh, let's do another thing here, and we'll say if nav is started and it does not have dirty tiles and nav finish is not true. That way we don't call it over and over again. Okay, so it's gonna build. I'm wondering like, because this is how we were doing it before and it was working, and then I just did this on chunk init rather than on tick, getting like recast and getting the nav system and getting the generator. So I'm wondering if the generator changed or something, which is odd. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Boo boo. Okay. Okay, so we got it finished for one chunk. That chunk. Okay, and other ones are following suit. Cool. Now, it did do a little bit of regeneration, and that's to be expected. That is to be expected. So I'm gonna turn it off so it goes a little bit faster. I don't know, it runs so much slower. The visual debugs for that is so slow. The debug drawings are so slow. And also, what is so bad right now? What is happening right now? Yeah, what is all this red? Oh, all the terrain chunks ticking. Okay, that's a lot more impactful than I thought it was going to be. Okay. That is a lot more impactful than I thought it was going to be. Okay, yeah, this is not realistic, then. That is not realistic, then. Okay. Oh, I need to also set tick disabled after it's finished. But that's not going to help very much, because most of them do not... Most of them are not finished. What are you working on today? Ask your mates to join. We want the game ASAP. Yeah, I don't have any mates that are capable of working on this. So I'm pretty solo dolo. What I'm trying to do is we're working on the procedural spawn locations. And I have them. I am outputting them from a PCG graph, but I need to filter through them. I need to make sure that they're actual valid spawn locations that are on the nav mesh, right? Because we have a bunch of these like little tiny like nav islands here. And so if I get a spawn point here, which does happen, I don't want that spawn point. That's going to be a shitty spawn point. So what I do is I'm going to, and I already tested this. It works, but I'm going to project a location in north, south, east, and west. And if from this spawn location I can get a navigable path found to at least one other direction, then it's a valid spawn location. And if I don't have any, i.e. I'm not on the nav mesh, a spawn point not on the nav mesh, or it's on one of these little nav islands, then we'll get rid of it. But I need to make sure that the navigation is finished generating for each chunk. So I just figured out how to do that, and I'm watching that go. Which it is quite unperformant. So we may need to rethink about how we're doing this. I'm going to rerun this. Let's do it for a different seed as well. 237. Which is all ocean. That is just all ocean. Bad seed. 238. That's a nice looking seed right there. Beautiful. So it seems like it's ticking much less. It is still, we'll run a trace here. It's decreasing, actually. It's decreasing in frame rate. Should be increasing as chunks get finished. Well, I guess only one has so far. There we go. There's a bunch of other ones. Yeah, the frame rate's really bad because every terrain chunk is ticking now. Maybe I should do that tick interval. God damn, it got worse and worse. Look at all these damn terrain chunks. $100. Had that finished already? It had, and it's still. Oh, -1 did. Was that -1? No, just 1. I'm gonna make sure the ones that have finished aren't still ticking. How many damn terrain? I don't think it is. I think just more have come online. So yeah, the performance is really bad for that. I'm just gonna let it continue. We'll see if I think I am recovering some frames. Like, frames are increasing now, slightly. Eventually we'll finish generating the navigation and then nothing should be ticking. Okay, yeah, frames are getting better. Frames are getting better. Dr. Elliott, dude, oh, you missed it. You missed the scope lock thing that I was talking about. We just had it happen. I say just, it was several hours ago probably now. But I had a thread lock because I had 2 different threads were doing a scope lock. Yeah, it happened. It happened. Oh, dude, I love this tunnel from one zone to the other. That's sick. Is that like right next to the spawn too? Yeah, just right around the corner. Okay, is Nav done? Boy, Nav. Okay, I think it is done actually now. Yeah, our frame rate is back. Our frame rate is back. Okay, quick trace. Let's turn off the nav mesh maybe. There we go. None of my terrain chunks should be ticking here. No ticking terrain chunks anymore. Okay, I don't see any. I don't see any. Okay, so ticking the terrain chunk to check for navigation finished is not very performant, turns out. Funny how that works, right? Funny how that works. Hum. I don't necessarily need to do this on the gameplay. This could be like a background thing. I could make a little subsystem for it, I suppose. I could even just put that in the procedural terrain subsystem. Which might be a good place for it. Because this does turn navigation on, too. It releases the building lock whenever the player spawns, I believe. Yeah, start generate navigation. So it's relevant. Yeah, so I think we could probably put it in there. We put a tick function in here. And then maybe just ticking from one place is more performant. It probably is. But then we could also kick it off to a background thread too. Do a little processor action. And just every tick, if there's not a background thread running, kick off a new one to check for nav finished. Yeah, I didn't find a better way to do this, but I have the recast nav mesh generator from within the recast nav mesh itself. And then there's this function for has dirty tiles that you can pass in a bounds to. And then I pass in the navigation bounds of the component. I was hoping that there would just be like some, you know, nav finished generating for component function, but I couldn't find one. And I don't think very many people use Unreal Engine's like dynamic runtime nav mesh like I do, so I couldn't really find any resources on it either. So yeah, let's put this in here. Procedural terrain subsystem. You're gonna ticky tick. You're gonna do a little ticky tick, yeah. Is tickable. There we go. Let's copy pasta on over. I do still want that function. I don't need that. I do need nav started, I believe, on each one. These may need to be public now as well. Or I could just maintain that in the procedural terrain. Can't ever take that off. Okay. There we go. And so I need to iterate over every terrain chunk. Yeah. That has not had its navigation finished. I mean, maybe this is a job for endless terrain, or the terrain controller that I've renamed it to. Maybe this is a job for the terrain controller. I'm thinking, like, how efficient do I want this to be? I mean, I definitely don't need it to be ticking all the time. I wonder if there's some other... Search for on. Oh, that wasn't a good idea. Okay. On. Yeah, nothing. I was hoping there'd be some event I could listen to, but no. Let me think. Let me think here. I could just maintain a list of terrain chunks and then remove them from that list whenever their navigation is finished. That just kind of feels like a little bit of a waste because I already have a list of terrain chunks in the endless terrain in the terrain controller. And then this, I gotta set these Boolean flags on the terrain chunk. So rather than these, maybe I can just have terrain chunk like do it here. Subscribe itself somehow. NCT array, brain chunk, pointer, brain chunks. Terrain chunks. Probably better name for that. And then here I'll just go procedural terrain subsystem, terrain chunks. Add this because it's finished generating and it's ready to be checked for nav finished generating. And then has nav started. I hope that's true. I hope that's true at that point. We'll see. If it doesn't have tiles, just do that. Okay, let's test that out. What I'm worried about is it may not have dirty tiles initially. Oh, I'm dumb. Hang on. I didn't do the rest of it. Remove at I else I plus plus. Yeah. So I'm wondering, I think initially it's not going to have, they're not going to have dirty tiles initially. So all of them are just going to, it's just going to call nav finish generating on all of them just because it hasn't started yet. So I'll need to, that's what I'll need to use the little Boolean flags for, I think. But I want to test this out first and see how it goes. I want to see how much more performant it is. Like ticking in a million things versus just ticking one thing, but calling the million. Rain chunks. Okay, yeah, let's make a better name for that. I kind of figured. That wasn't a good name. Rain chunks, check nav, rain chunks. Okay. Are you happy now? Can we finish building, please? You're taking so long. Any day now. Thank you. Function name was nav finished generating, correct? Nav finished generating. Okay, let's get a new map. 238, 239. Shitty map. And yeah, they're all their navigation is completing. Yeah. So honestly, they should not, it should not start doing that also until the navigation lock has been released. Which is when the player spawns. And is navigation building locked? And it's not building locked. To-do document. Look at all these to-do documents. Oh boy. Okay, so that's probably not going to make it much better. Because I doubt it's going to dirty every single terrain chunk tile the second the building lock gets released. So they're probably all going to return, you know, no dirty nav tiles. Okay, seed 240. Okay, we got a seed. Okay, so it's not immediately doing it, which is great. But when the player spawns, I imagine all of them will finish. But I want to verify that assumption. No, they haven't. Okay, maybe that worked. Oh, I'm like just falling down the hill, aren't I? Oh, geez. Okay. Navigation is building, I see it. We're just gonna let that build then. We can run a trace. My frames are cooked right now. My frames are fucking cooked. Yeah, 12 FPS. Yeah, it's still pretty bad. Still pretty bad this way too. It's not even I'm not even rendering the I wasn't even rendering the nav mesh. Why are you doing nav mesh things? There it is. Yeah. Now some are getting done. So yeah, that's still wildly unperformant. Wildly unperformant. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. The nav checker running equals false. If b nav checker running is false, and yeah, and we have some to check. Yeah, that is actually exactly what I fucking wanted. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That could be private. Set it to false there. And actually, when we are done, async task, back to the game thread, and do nav checker running false, as well as this is going to return like the new nav chunks. Array chunks check, and you are going to return the new chunks. Okay, so chunks to check now goes there, there, there. It's a copy, so we're removing it, and then we're going to return it. You are const? Sure, why not? And so here, let's copy the nav check chunks, right? Well, it's this. Do I want to specifically copy the check nav terrain chunks? I think I do, right? Well, maybe we do this. We do this. We do chunk copy. We'll do a double copy. Copy it there, and then I'll go auto new chunks. New chunks, and because we're on the game thread, it'll be fine. And so we'll go check nav terrain chunks, set it equal to new chunks. And that way I can add from here, from wherever. I hope it adds. Where did I do that here? I hope this is on the game thread. We'll see. Okay, but now we'll just run that on a background thread. Okay. There goes me. Just sliding down the hill. Okay, that one finished. Or no, I guess not. That was 010, which I have not seen finish yet. This one should be finished. Zero 1 0. 0 -10 finished. Yeah, I think I need a checker for it starting too. Damn, bro, you're grinding. I respect it. Hell yeah, dude. I have a great time doing game dev. Welcome in, though. Marith, with an upside down name. Super uber elite name. Yeah, this one never showed up. No, that one never showed up. Okay. Is it still in there? Is it still in the list? I guess let's throw a breakpoint in here and we can see. Chunk copy. What do we got? Make that bigger. 010 never got added. I suppose. Okay. Was heavy math required? No, not necessarily. For what I'm doing, yeah. Yeah, you need some math, but I think there are plenty of things that you can get done in game dev without needing heavy math. You know, having math skills does help, but I didn't really have any before I started, and I just learned, you know, I just picked it up as I went. I think vector math would be the most useful math that you can do. And yeah, the frame rate's a lot better here. Quick trace. Should be able to find that in a background thread somewhere. It's probably that one. Okay, so I need to make sure that navigation has started generating on these first. Vector, yeah. XYZ. A vector can describe a location or a direction and a magnitude. Okay, so let's do the has nav started. This is just Windows. It's just Windows. Windows 10. And chunk. The has nav mesh started. Let's just say if chunk if b recast has dirty tiles and it hasn't started, I need to know that it started so that next time we check it. Okay, hopefully that makes it a bit more deterministic, a bit more consistent. We need to rebuild. And that may be closing in on being it for me today, because I have to go to work now. But I'm gonna see how this one last test goes. Then we're probably gonna hop on out of here. The day hasn't even started yet, and I'm tired. What's wrong with this picture? It's taking so long to build. It usually doesn't take that long. We're scope locked. We're fucking scope locked. Look at this. Are we? No. We're just frozen? Okay, there it goes. Okay, we weren't there. Oh, wonderful. But we've... Okay, so this is what happens when I don't put a scope lock on this function. You say reads don't require a scope lock, but then this issue happens. There's some sort of collision here. I guarantee you, if I look at the game thread or something, in Q3, do you know it? No, there's some other thread, I guarantee you, that is trying to use this map. Okay, I couldn't find it. FRDG render, that's a render thread allocator. Why did you fucking crash then? It's like the hash index gets all fucked up. Why? Why does that happen? Just calling dot contains on a chunk map 3 -40. There it is. It's in there. Oh, why are you crashing though? Oh. Why is the hash wrong? Three. I just wanna see this work once, and then I'm getting out of here. Brain chunk 1 is finished. Okay, is 010 the next to finish here? Why is 010? Hang on, pause. Oh, it's still going. Okay, well that's bad. Because then a bunch of those are gonna get finished. Let me check the chunks. 010, did that ever get put in here? Zero, negative 10. 020. Wonder, do we not hit the finish generating? Did 010 not have anything to generate on it? No, there's definitely shit there. Okay, weird. Why did you not finish generated? Did PCG finish generating never get called? Let's look up chunk X equals 0, Y equals 1, Z equals 0. What was your life cycle here? We did hit PCG finish generating. Yeah, we hit that. But we should have called it. Oh, we overwrite it, actually. Oops. Oops. Okay, here's what we need to do for that. Oopsies. Okay. So rather than doing this, we just want to do a dot append. Because what we're going to do is actually chunk copy and then empty this. And that way we don't overwrite the newly added ones that may be happening. Oh, and let's also do nav system. Give me the nav system, which maybe we can just make a member. We use that in multiple places. Make that a member. Okay. Yeah, we don't need that now anymore either. And honestly, yeah, let's take that check and just not even do background thread thing if that's the case. And that way we're not doing that even less than we need to. Even less than we need to. Even less than we don't need to? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I need more coffee, man. I'm gonna have to do that when I hop off and get to work. Bro, what's your deal here? Doing absolutely nothing. Do you do anything? There we go. Now it's starting. Okay, finally. Okay. Yes, I know, it always happens. Okay. Why is the navigation showing? That should not. It's like all messed up. It shouldn't be showing right now. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, there's the performance I'm expecting. Did 010 get completed? Yes, it did. Okay, we fixed the issue, I think. Okay, let's do a trace. Performance seems fine now. Have a rando thread here. Yeah, there it is. Oh no, that's just the tile generation thing. Is it this? I should put a fucking stat. I should put a stat named events on it, shouldn't I? Array cycle. What is it? Cycle scope thing. Come on, AI. You know what I need. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Okay, does that actually... I don't know if I need to, like, do a rebuild to get those to take effect or not. Nope, there it is. Check nav mush. So it takes about 80 milliseconds, 80, 90 milliseconds. That is non-trivial work. Non-trivial work. Almost done, though. Almost done, generating the nav mesh. I see a bunch getting completed. Okay, well, I'm glad I got that figured out before the end of the stream today. I feel good. Sir, there's supposed to be nav mesh here. Why is there no nav mesh? Are we not checking anymore? Are we done checking? Search for one called who's he what's it now? Check nav mesh generation. Yeah, that. None found. Okay, so we are done checking. That's good. It's good that it stopped. Actually, open that back up. Just want to make sure I don't see the actual tick. The tick. It's gotta be here somewhere. Whoops. Timer name contains roll terrain system. Yeah. Okay, why is there two? Why is there two in the same frame? I mean, 400 nanoseconds. I think that's fine. Okay. We're done. I'm done for the day. I'm sending you guys somewhere. Where am I sending you? Y'all over on Twitch are gonna go to... TV Raidron. Another Unreal Engine dev who's going to be right back. She's not there right now. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I also saw Prismatica's online. So it was first Crimson. Both Unreal Engine devs. First Crimson's game came out today, I think. Well, hell yeah. I'm gonna send you guys over there then. First Crimson's working on like a, it's like a shoot 'em up kind of game called Suit for Hire. And I guess he released it today, so that's fucking sick. So all you on Twitch, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm gonna go and work. Hopefully I'll see you all again this weekend. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great weekend.